Hi there. This section we are going to go over the basics of soil contamination. Before we start, I want to ask you a question. What is soil contaminant? By definition, any substance in the soil that exists naturally occurring levels and poses human health risks is a soil contaminant. As we know, soil is a complex mixture of minerals, organic materials, water, and various life forms. In its original state, soil was an uncontaminated substance covering the earth, but humans have intentionally and accidentally poured harmful products onto it in some areas. The waste can hurt the soil and possibly humans, plants, and animal health. Additionally, there are different pathways for soil contamination. Various compounds could get into the soil from the atmosphere, for instance, with the precipitation water, as well as by wind activity or other types of soil disturbances, and from surface water bodies and shallow groundwater flowing through the soil. In this section, we mainly talk about the soil contaminants. In general, there are two types of contaminants: organic contaminants and inorganic contaminants. So organic contaminants in soil are divided into industrial organic contaminants and pesticide organic contaminants, while inorganic contaminants include heavy metals, inorganic ions, or salts such as phosphates, carbonates, sulfates, and nitrates. Now, let's discuss each of them in detail. Industrial organic contaminants include polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which is PAHs. They are petroleum products used for fuel purpose. PAHs are persistent contaminants with a wide range of biological toxicity. Persistent contaminants are those that are resistant to degradation in the environment. PAHs are emitted into the environment while volcanic eruption, forest fire, or from industries. They could be transported by wind to different locations and deposited onto the soil, and strongly absorbed by soil particles. Another industrial organic contaminant is TCE, trichloroethylene. TCE is a solvent used in manufacturing processes. It is leachable, that is why it accumulates in groundwater and it readily passes through the soil and contaminates the groundwater and causes health problems including kidney cancer. The other industrial organic contaminant is PCBs, which is polychlorinated biphenyls. PCBs are widely dispersed compounds and one of the persistent organic contaminants. They are strongly absorbed by soil particles. If the soil is contaminated by PCBs, the PCBs can be taken up by the plant and thus contaminate the food chain. All these industrial organic compounds are contaminants mostly found in those soils around factories. Pesticide is a type of organic contaminant that is the main cause of soil pollution in a modern intensive agriculture. Two types of pesticides adversely affect the soil quality. They are insecticides and herbicides. Insecticides are used to control insects and pests in agriculture. Organic insecticides are classified into three groups. One of them is chlorinated hydrocarbon. This group is the insecticide is persistent and has a low biodegradability. Biodegradability means materials decomposed over the period of time by microorganisms, while chlorinated hydrocarbon example is DDT, dichlorodiphenyl, trichloroethane, that is very dangerous and has been abandoned in many countries due to their low biodegradability. Another group of insecticides is organophosphate. Organophosphate compounds are biodegradable, which can be decomposed by microorganisms in soil. However, it is toxic to humans. The third group of insecticides are carbamide. Carbamide is readily biodegradable and least dangerous. Herbicide is a type of pesticide that is poisonous to plants, used to kill plants that are growing in inappropriate places. Herbicides are biodegradable, least toxic to mammals, but some herbicides are very toxic to the soil fauna. So, above all, is a brief introduction of the organic contaminants. Now, let's move to the inorganic contaminants. Most known inorganic contaminants are heavy metals, and they are categorized according to their toxicity. Arsenic, cadmium, mercury, chromium are highly toxic to plants, humans, and animals, while lead, nickel are moderately toxic. Low toxic metals are zinc, boron, and copper. Arsenic is one of the most dangerous elements that cause many health issues, even killing the organism. Arsenic is naturally present in soil and groundwater, but the high level of arsenic can be found near the mining sites. Some pesticides also contain arsenic. Continuously use of those pesticides can accumulate arsenic in soil at a toxicity level. In all, the above discussed contaminants would not present a full picture of soil contamination, but we may conclude that most of soil contaminants are man-made and most soil contamination is caused by human activities, such as accidental spills and leaks during storage, transport or use of chemicals, mining activities, involving the crushing and processing of raw materials, for instance, heavy metals, emitting toxic substances, agricultural activity involving the diffusion of herbicides, pesticides, and/or insecticides and fertilizers. The storage of waste in landfill, as the waste products may leak into groundwater or generate polluted vapors. So, if most of the soil contamination was caused by us, can we stop or optimize those activities that we mentioned above? The answer is yes. But how? By law. In order to protect the Soil Pollution Prevention Law, the first comprehensive framework law in China addressing soil pollution, creating new obligations and potential liabilities for land use rights holders in China, has been passed by the National People's Congress on August 31st, 2018. The Soil Pollution Prevention Law generally requires the responsible person, i.e., the person who caused the contamination and any successors, to implement risk control and remediation measures and to pay for all costs associated with investigating, remediating, and managing soil contamination. Also, the new action plan requires that an increase to 95% by 2030 of contaminated farmland be made safe by 2030, compared to 90% by 2020. The soil pollution control efforts in the action plan highlights protection, the prevention of pollution to uncontaminated land, and tackles the problems across large regions and in major industries. The national campaign is expected to control pollution efficiently and also fuel economic growth. It is estimated the action plan could add 2.7 trillion yuan or $411 billion to the nation's GDP and create around 2 million jobs. So that's all, a brief introduction of soil contamination that we talk about today. Thank you.